You know that feeling, right? That little amber light pops up on your dashboard, the dreaded check engine light, and your heart just sinks. It could be nothing, or it could be a massive repair bill. But what if the light comes on telling you something's wrong, but the car's computer says everything is perfectly fine? Well, that's exactly the confusing mystery we're going to unravel today.
So imagine this. Your check engine light is staring you in the face. You know there are problems with your car, but the very system that's supposed to tell you what's wrong, it's coming up totally blank. It's a paradox that can stump even a seasoned mechanic. So what is really going on here?
All right, to really get to the bottom of this, we're going to follow a real story that lays out this whole bizarre problem perfectly. It all kicks off with one car sending out some seriously mixed signals.
So our story, which comes from a real online discussion, is all about a 2008 VW Rabbit. The owner knew, without a doubt, that something was off, and not just because of a light on the dash, but because of the way the car was actually driving.
And listen, these symptoms were not subtle. We're talking about the check engine light being on, sure, but also the car just randomly shutting off at stoplights. And the transmission, it felt like it was slipping. These are huge, you can't ignore them red flags. So the owner does the logical thing, right? They take it to a mechanic to get the codes checked out. But the answer they get back just makes the whole thing even more confusing. And here it is, the heart of the mystery. On one side, you've got that universal symbol for engine trouble lit up. But on the other, the diagnostic computer spits out code P0000, which literally means no faults found. The car is practically shouting that there's a problem, while at the same time it's whispering that everything's okay. How is that even possible? For the owner, this was a total dead end. Their mechanic basically threw up his hands and said, look, without a specific code telling me what's broken, I'm just guessing. And guessing gets expensive fast. The only thing he could suggest was, maybe try a dealership. So, feeling frustrated and pretty much out of options, the car owner does what a lot of us do these days. They went online. They posted their problem to a community of mechanics. And that one post, well, it changed everything. And there it was. A user on Reddit just nailed it in one sentence. The problem wasn't some ghost in the machine. The problem was the tool the mechanic was using. All of a sudden, the focus wasn't on the car anymore. It was on the scanner.
This one little clue unlocks the whole thing. It turns out the technology we use to listen to our cars is way more complex than you'd think. And to really get why, we need to talk about how these diagnostic tools actually work. Okay. So first, a super quick rundown. Since the mid-90s, pretty much every car has what's called an OBD2 port, usually right under the steering wheel. Think of it as a universal plug that lets a mechanic, or you, talk directly to your car's brain. But what you use to have that conversation, that makes all the difference. I love this analogy. A generic scanner, the kind you can buy for cheap, is like a tourist phrase book. It knows the basics, hello, thank you, and the most common engine trouble codes. But a specialized scanner, one made for a specific car brand, that's like a fluent native speaker. It understands the car's unique dialect, all the complex codes for the transmission, the airbags, the anti-lock brakes, stuff the cheap scanner doesn't even know exists. And this, from our Reddit expert, is the final piece of the puzzle. European cars, just like that VW Rabbit, are famous for using their own special codes that basic scanners just can't read. So the generic scanner listened in, heard something it didn't recognize, and basically just reported back, I got nothing. P0000, no faults, when the car was actually screaming for help in a language the tool couldn't understand. So what does all this mean for you? Well, if you ever find yourself in this exact spot, staring at that check engine light while a mechanic is telling you there's no problem, you'll now know what's probably going on. And here's exactly how you should handle it. It's really just a simple 3-step plan. First, trust your gut. If the light is on and the car is acting weird, don't let that P0000 code convince you you're crazy. Second, just politely ask the shop, hey, what kind of scanner are you using? Can it read manufacturer-specific codes? And third, if they're using a basic tool, it's time to find a shop that specializes in your car's brand. They'll have the right translator for the job. When you boil it all down, here's the big takeaway. The tech in our cars is getting super complex, and the tools we use to fix them have to keep up. Being a smart car owner isn't just about knowing your car, it's about knowing the right questions to ask the person who's working on it. And that kind of leaves us with a bigger question, doesn't it? This isn't just about cars. We're surrounded by complex tech, from our phones to our homes, and it feels like the gap between the technology itself and the tools we have to really understand it is getting wider. It makes you wonder,
What other phantom problems are out there, just waiting for the right tool or the right question to finally bring them to light?